So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Frequency Soul Collective. My name is Beck McQuilty. I live on the southwest side of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia, and I have been lucky enough to be involved with Solex and the AO scanner now for approximately 18 months. When I came across it during a really difficult time here in our country, as I know you two have experienced in New Zealand, and I remember just reaching out to the universe and saying, look, you know, that we need something here. We need something to help support. So just bring me whatever it is that I'm meant to be doing. And literally within just a short space of time, a girlfriend of mine that I caught up with for coffee one day bought her scanning device with her bioresonance device and did a scan for me. I couldn't believe the accuracy of this device, and when I experienced it personally myself, I had to know absolutely every single thing that there was to know about it. At the time, the device was not available in Australia. So after contacting the corporate team and working strategically with them, I assisted in helping Solex to open Australia. And now I feel very, very blessed to have the opportunity to assist in opening the beautiful country, of course, of New Zealand. I live in my beautiful home with my husband, Ryan, my 9-year-old daughter, Addison, who is homeschooled, and goodness knows I've lost count of how many animals. So we love our life here. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm a kinesiologist and a psychic counselor. I'm also an ex-corporate trainer. So my passion really has been about bringing this entire, I guess, wellness center to the palm of people's hands and allowing them the opportunity and the chance to actually bring their health and wellness back into their own hands. So that's a little bit about me. I'd also like to invite my beautiful co-host this evening, Debbie Jane Harris. Welcome, Deb.
I'm so excited to be here. It's amazing. I will begin. Where should I've thought about this a bit today, actually, about where I should begin. But I'm originally from New Zealand, so I just really want to just take a moment to really acknowledge how much this whole opportunity and what we have here means to me and my land, having sat over here in Australia with the chaos unfolding and looking over at New Zealand and feeling like I was becoming really disconnected from my people and from my land, watching what was going on in New Zealand over the last few years. It's been pretty heartbreaking, but no longer do I feel that as I feel. So my background was 30 years of nursing, intensive care and emergency, and the last 5 years I've also been retraining in integrative health, and I am now a bioresonance therapist as well. So I stood down due to the mandates back in 2021, and that whole scenario was very traumatizing, what I was witnessing in the hospital, and I chose it chose me. To speak out about that in front of thousands of people, and I subsequently got reprimanded by the governing body, and it's been a journey. But I tell you what, I wouldn't change a thing, because here I am now in a situation where I have, fortunately, Bex and I have been friends for some time, and she came to me and she said, Deb, that was about 2 weeks after I stood down, you need this device. We need to help the people. So for the last 18 months, I have been using this device in my integrative health practice. It has been life-changing. I'm a science geek, so in the last 18 months, I have researched this. It's incredible, and the accuracy is like nothing I've ever seen outside of the hospital system. So I have a lot of faith in what we have here, and now I get to share this beautiful opportunity to help heal New Zealand and raise the vibration of my beautiful country, along with some other incredible souls that I feel so blessed to have in my life. And so here we are tonight to share that opportunity with you, and to I hope that you see the vision and you feel it in your heart that, you know, this could be something that you could be a part of too.
Awesome. Thanks, Deb. And I think that when we're working with all things energy and frequency, it is definitely that energetic feeling that you will feel or not feel a pull to. And it's something that for many, many of us definitely aligned, and we hope that it aligns for you as well. So let's start first and foremost about sharing with you about the company, because certainly for me, before I got started, I also still wanted to do my due diligence, and the company and the heart of the owner, the CEO, all of the corporate team really is incredible. So I remember hearing once how important it is to have your morals and integrity aligned with the company that you partner with. And until I heard that, do you know, it had never even crossed my mind that that was even a thing, because the amount of companies I had worked for, both in the corporate space and this space as well, that it never even occurred to me. And it is with that I now drive from and make my decisions from my gut feeling. And so I share with you tonight that the device that we're talking about is the AO scanner. It was previously a $38,000 USD machine that was used in holistic health clinics all over the world. The technology used in the machine is from Russian and German scientists who discovered in 1980 that 120,000 frequencies in the human body represented an optimal state of health. So it was in the beginning that the AO scan was primarily used to help astronauts in space. But in the last 20 years, it has been released to the public. And Lawrence Swenson, the founder of the company, went looking for technology and healing solutions to be able to help his son, who at 9 months old was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And at 10 years of age, the allopathic model basically told him that, unfortunately, there's not much else we can do here. Basically go and enjoy your son for as long as, you know, he has on this earth. And of course, like any parent, that just wasn't a good enough answer. And he went looking for something to help his son. I'm very happy to say that his son is now 40 years of age. He's a black belt in karate and actually has no sign of cerebral palsy in his body whatsoever. So such a really powerful and incredible story that this family has. Deb, I'll hand it over to you just to talk a little around the type of technology that we use in the AO scanner, if you don't mind.
Sure. Okay. Are you changing?
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's changed.
Or am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
It's already done.
I couldn't see that.
That's okay.
Okay. So usually the biggest question that we get around bioresonance and frequency medicine, especially when we're doing things remotely like we do, is how on earth does it work? And so this technology has been around since early century. That it has been, Nikola Tesla talks about it. Obviously, we can see here that he the scalar wave technology, which is a completely safe wavelength energy that does not have any electrical or magnetic components to it. So obviously, when we're thinking about, you know, frequency and being able to oops, sorry.
That's okay. I've just muted them. Oh, good. Sorry, Deb.
That's right. Being able to to see and assess and measure what's going on inside of our body. People get a little bit concerned about, you know, is there radiation or, you know, anything nasty? Well, there is not. You can be reassured. The scalar waves were actually studied by Nikola Tesla and are a lossless energy, meaning that they do not change, deteriorate, or alter when sent across a distance or substance. They actually they can carry any frequency that is programmed into them and can be sent anywhere in the universe instantaneously, because they actually travel faster than the speed of light. So that kind of explains. And then there's also the Rife. Are we going to talk about that? Rife technology. Yeah, so there's two, there's Scalar Wave and then there's the Rife technology. I'm just wondering if the slide is coming up.
It might be delayed on your end. I feel like your internet might be lagging a little bit. So I can take it from here just in regards to Rife, because in 1934, Dr. Boyle Rife helped 16 cancer patients become cancer-free by using his beam ray technology frequencies. That AO contains Rife frequencies as well. So the ultimate goal for us is to have everyone able to access this device for their own bodies. And the thing about it is that when this device first was created, as I was saying before, and it was extremely expensive, it was something that, you know, practitioners had access to, but the vision was to be able to bring it down into a handheld size for people to be able to utilize this in their own homes. And that's what the goal is that we're sharing with you today. And Albert Einstein, as many of you may know, his famous saying is, the future of medicine will be in the medicine of frequencies. And here we are. I'm going to share this one as well because it's my favorite. So everything is energy. So when you're looking at understanding energy and frequency work, every cell and organ in the body has their own distinctive vibrational frequency. When these frequencies are disrupted, whether it be by injury, diet, stress, or emotion, it results in a disruption that is often quite profound. So we carry, you know, scars for life with these types of things. When it's not addressed, this can also bring around about fatigue, depression, illness, dis-ease in the body, and even death. Over the past 20 years, these vibrational frequencies have been isolated, identified, and catalogued. So we're extremely lucky to be able to have each of those frequencies now in the AO scanner. So Deb, I'd really love because I feel like this is your forte, you know, talking around finding the root cause and then how, you know, we can connect the dots with the AO scanner.
This is the stuff that really excites me, because as an integrative health practitioner, it is really important for me to look at prevention and also to look at solutions. And what better way of doing that than this device, which is such an incredibly powerful educational tool. So that's what I use it in my practice for. And also, you know, when we've got access to all these other things, like I know some of the people on the call here use other modalities. You may be a practitioner, you may use other frequency devices, you may use other nutraceutical products and what have you to support your health. What's beautiful about that is that this is the level before all of that. So this device will actually show you where things are out of balance, what areas you need to be targeting, how much you need to be having, you know, like even with your nutraceuticals, this whole, you know, 1 tablet a day or 2 drops here and all the, like, if you know exactly what your body needs because the frequencies are being measured, how much more effective are the tools that we use, you know, in our businesses and, you know, in our lives. And so this part of it has just been, I think as a nurse, and this was the part where I became very disconnected and working in the system, was that we know like that we have to have more of a holistic approach. It's mind, body, and spirit. We can't just focus on these are our symptoms and let's take this tablet, or these are our symptoms, now let's have these, you know. We can't continuously be outsourcing. We need to get to the root of what's actually going on. And one of the constant themes that I'm seeing with my clients is that there are things that they had no idea were going on, and they've been spending thousands and thousands of dollars on all kinds of treatments and modalities and all the things, but there's just been some things that they've been missing because they had no idea that that they were off. And so now we've been able to really support that healing and wellness. And and it's life-changing for people. So, and for families as well, whose kids got food allergies, and like there's all kinds of things that we can use this device for to really get to the root cause. And we know that once we get to the root cause, that's the solution.
Absolutely. And even from a support perspective, we have so many testimonials. And what I love is, over a period of time, your testimonials just grow and grow and grow. I remember when I first started, I used to suffer, and it was suffering, really chronic tension headaches. And I had tried every natural, in the world, I'm pretty sure. And nothing, honestly, ever gave it relief. And it wasn't until I created a playlist for myself and started running a playlist for tension headaches that the headaches would not only be relieved, but it was also about bringing those parts of my body back into balance to teach that part of the body how to behave so that it didn't go out of balance. I can honestly say, I don't think I've had, in the last 12 to 18 months, I may have had 1 or 2 tension headaches. And I'm thinking I probably used to have 2 or 3 a week. So to be able to look at it, as you say, as a holistic solution. And I recently, my sister's cat wasn't very well, and she loves this cat more than anything. And she's like, I'm taking him to the vet. He's unwell. And I said, let me scan him for you. And so I scanned him, and I ran frequency because he had an upset belly. So his digestive was showing as, not great. And I ran frequency for him, and I said to her, just leave it until the morning and let me know how he is. And then if you still feel uncomfortable, if you still feel like he's really unwell, then let's talk about taking him to the vet. She's a single mum, she doesn't have a spare $180 just to take him off to the vet. And I messaged her the next morning because I ran frequency for him all night. And she said he's perfectly fine, back to normal. So just to be able to help with all different things going on, for whether it be yourself, your clients, your family, your pets, is honestly, I could sit here all night just to tell you testimonials. It's phenomenal. So I guess that brings us to what we're here talking about this evening, which is the AO scanning mobile device. So in the picture here, you can see it. This is the mobile size device. This is a device specifically created by Solex. One of my questions before I got started is, why can't I just use it on my phone? Could I just do that? But really it comes down to a privacy aspect for me, knowing that, a phone or an iPad or whatever is owned by Apple or Samsung, to have a specific device with nothing else on it so that the software works seamlessly is really imperative to me. So there is this size, and then there is also a tablet size. So what you're looking at here is a biofeedback device. It is an educational tool to check your body at any time of the day. It restores balance in the body, mind, and spirit. And it is an affordable handheld device that can scan, optimize, and harmonize the entire body as often as you would like. So, and it's unlimited. You have unlimited access to however many profiles. So there's no limit to that. There is no limit to the amount of scans you can run per day or per month. And it's very, very affordable. So Deb, would you like to talk into maybe a little bit about the inner voice scan, which I like to call the emotional balance scan, for us?
Yes, this is one of my favorites. I've actually got a personal testimony from my I've got 2 sons that have actually struggled especially over the last few years, with some anxiety and some mental health, and they ask me now, they call me up and say, can you run one of those inner voice scans for me? Like they're sold on just how incredible this frequency device is. So basically what happens is our voice has got tones, and each note is a frequency. And so the device, the inner voice scan, when we run the scan, it isolates and analyzes over 8,000 frequencies across the 12 notes of the octave that are picked up in your voice. That's the tone, pitch, and pattern. It identifies any emotional imbalances, and then it creates harmonizing music to help balance your emotional state using musical tones, radionics, and other frequencies. So you'll get MP3 files basically where you can actually listen to the music, and it's embedded with specific frequency just for you based on what was analyzed in your voice. So it uses the same software as a lie detector, so it's able to obtain really accurate results specific to you. There is no one else with your voice. And the generated frequency, sound healing harmonics are, they're 100% customized to you. So if someone else was to listen to them, they would not get the results. It needs to be based on a scan of your voice.
Yeah, awesome. I love the inner voice scan because it is how I start my day every day. And I notice, like, if I don't start my day this way, it's if something sort of, if something happens, it usually I could feel the unbalance of my emotional state. So, the more you make this a habit of doing every morning and starting your day like this, it's absolutely amazing. And in fact, whilst you were talking, DJ, it reminded me, I had a girlfriend of mine message me this afternoon and said, hey, I'm just not feeling great. I feel really unbalanced. She'd had a situation happen and she said, can you please run my inner voice for me and send me some new tunes? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, of course. So, it's just an incredible tool. And as we know, everything starts with emotion. So if we can be balancing that on a daily basis and putting our headphones on, listening to the tunes, but knowing that those frequencies are embedded into that music specifically for you, what a huge shift that makes. And this is just an example of the report
over here. And I was just going to add to that too. We're sort of looking at navigating this in New Zealand as well, but we have a national disability insurance scheme here where kids and adults on the spectrum or have, learning difficulties or any sort of cognitive challenges, the government actually pay for this device for them because they see it as an emotional support tool, which is just gives us a lot of credibility in the marketplace, and it's a solution for parents, and the testimonials will make you cry of these people, these adults and children who are implementing these harmonics into their daily life, and it's changing their lives for the better, for more mental clarity, calmness, accelerated learning, all the things that they had previously had challenges with. So yeah, we really this is something really passionate about, is the inner voice.
Yeah, awesome. And this is an example of, you get a full report with that as well. So apart from getting and receiving the files with the audio, you also receive a full report of the top 4 emotions that are out of balance. So if we use this one as an example, at one end of the scale, we have self-critical. At the other end of the scale, we have self-accepting, and it means that there is an imbalance between the two. Normally sort of more down the negative side than the positive, but you never know. It just means that there is an imbalance. You can see on the left-hand side with the picture of the sort of human profile, it actually highlights what parts of the body these emotions actually affect. And then it also gives you the color therapy component as well. So you have the opportunity to be able to purchase the Lightwave glasses, which is the color therapy glasses with interchangeable lenses, to be wearing those glasses and looking through that color when you're actually balancing that emotion. It's not essential, but it is an option. For my clients who I scan remotely, which I do majority of my work remotely now, I suggest that they wear the color, look at the color, if green or blue come up, they can sit outside and look at the beautiful green grass or the gorgeous blue sky as well. And then you also have the option here to be able to look at some of the potential causes. So some of the imbalances and some suggestions to support that, but also too, what other emotions are actually attached to that as well. We then move on to the vital scan. This is probably one of my most favorite, We scan the body first to see what is out of alignment, and then we work to bring those frequencies back into homeostasis. Now, what we actually focus on is anything that can't realign, because we want to be able to do some work with that or just keep an eye on it. So it scans the energetic state of your blood biology in over 800 items. So it scans the blood in less than 3 minutes and is equivalent to getting hundreds of dollars worth of blood work. It identifies energetic imbalances such as toxins, hormones, micro and macro minerals, mold, bacteria, parasites, food allergies, sensitivities, heavy metals, and much more. You know, I saw a client only a couple of weeks ago, and she has spent thousands of dollars in the allopathic medical system to find out what is wrong with her. Her hair is falling out, she's pale, she feels unwell, she's got no energy, and so many other symptoms. Do you know, when I scanned her, the biggest thing that flagged to me was mold. And I actually said to her, have you been tested for mold in your body? And she just looked at me like an absolute light bulb moment. And she said, no, I haven't. And I said, that's where I would start. We can start with a mold detox and then maybe start investigating that, just to be able to give her hope as well, that there maybe I may have found her a solution to something that she has been spending literally thousands of dollars on with no solution. Is huge. It also scans and sends you the balancing frequencies to guide the body toward homeostasis, and shows results based on whether the frequencies are in and out of range. And it's really, it's such an incredible tool, not only to be able to look at these things, but from an educational purpose, because you can look at some of these things and you might never have heard of them before, but by simply clicking on a button on the device, it gives you a full explanation of what it is that you're looking at. And when frequencies come up, it's important to know that it could be, let's say it's a bacteria, it could be a bacteria that you have, that you're holding the frequency of. It could be a bacteria that you've had, or it could be something ancestral as well, or you may have come in contact with it. So the fact that it's holding in your body is so powerful to even know that then have the ability to be able to shift it. And this is just an example of the report. We do have a more comprehensive way of reading this report, but sometimes it's just as easy to look at red and green. Is something in or out of alignment? I love that in my scan, I get to look at my, I scan myself every day and look at what foods I should be avoiding that day. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm allergic to them, but what it's saying is, if I was to have those foods on that particular day, my body wouldn't be able to process them well. So Deb, I'll get you to speak a little bit more about the comprehensive side of things, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, there is still a lag, but that's okay. It'll come through. I'll just start speaking into the comprehensive is really looking at, it's the equivalent of like an MRI CT scan. Oh, how about that was the first line on the slide.
Oh, that's so
yeah, similar to the MRI and the CT, which you know, and I'll just speak into that just really briefly. So anyone who sort of knows anything about radiology is that, you know, when that person is behind the screen and you're on the table waiting for your X-ray or your CT scan, what they're doing is they're actually dialing up the resonance so that they can, if they're looking at specific organs, each organ has a frequency, it has a resonance. Otherwise, if they took a snapshot just as is, it would just be chaos, because they would basically be looking at everything at once. So if they want to hone into organs, they hone into the frequency of that organ, and that is the resonance. So that just gives you a bit of a background. So then when we're looking at the comprehensive scan, it's doing the same thing. All the frequencies of our cells, our muscles and ligaments and bones and everything, it's all of those frequencies are in the device, and it scans like every physical component right down. It can do chromosomes, spine, vertebrae, muscles, ligaments, glands, teeth, everything, ears, eyes, the whole lot. And then we can optimize all of those areas by just clicking one button, and that will shift anything that's out of balance back into balance. And then we get to look at anything that's left out of balance, then we get to look at those things, and they're the bits that we focus on. But the results come in a 35-page report, very detailed. You can click on them and basically bring them up like a CT or an MRI and move them around in 3D and look at every little aspect of, like say if you've got pain in your neck or your shoulder or your knees or abdomen and organs and things, it will actually show up the organ and where the affected area is out of balance. And and you'll get a detailed list of each part of the anatomy and where it's falling energetically, from scale 1 to 9, and we're always looking for everything to fall in that, the balanced around 5 in the middle, for a healthy, in that healthy range, because when all our frequencies of all of our organs and cells and tissues and everything are all aligned, and we're in the optimal state for self-healing, which is what our body is meant to do. So that's what the comprehensive scan is all about. It's about bringing everything back into alignment, all our frequencies back into homeostasis, so that our bodies can function at their optimum state.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, DJ. And I also want to share just a real quick testimony. A little while ago, my daughter was jumping on the trampoline. She was a gymnast at the time, and she just did a flip and landed the wrong way. And I watched her fall, and she started crying. She was in pain. And before I took her to the hospital, I scanned just her left arm. And what flagged to me that was completely out of alignment from a scan perspective and inflamed was her elbow. And so we got her to the hospital. The radiographer did their thing, and I actually said to them, "Is it broken?" And she said, "No, it's not broken, but it's probably just badly sprained, but I'll send you back out into emergency. The doctor will talk to you, come up with a bit of a care plan, kind of send you home." And I was like, just something didn't feel right. And I said, "Did you scan her elbow?" Because her pain was actually referring down in her left wrist. And they said, "No, because her pain, they've done her whole forearm, they've done her wrist." And I said, "Can you scan her elbow, please?" "Oh, well, we don't like radiating children." And I said, "Look, I am the last person on earth that would probably ask you to radiate my child. However, I want to know if it's broken." So they scanned it, and the radiographer come out and she said, "It's broken." So had I have not done that before I left home, it only took me seconds to do, I wouldn't have had that information. So I believe that knowledge is power when you use it. So I think that that's just a bit of a cool testimony to share as well. We also have the ability to check all of the 13 body systems. It provides, again, a detailed description of each of the systems in the body, potential causes for the frequency imbalances, and then gives you personalized recommendations on how to improve those frequency statistics. The program finds and optimizes the largest 65 trapped emotions and lists which body system they are stored in and how they are affecting your body. So again, some really phenomenal information. This is probably one of my favorite aspects of the device, which is what we call the Sephi for short, Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. This is the powerhouse of the device, because this is where you can broadcast frequency to people, no matter where they are in the world. And that's using the scalar technology. And we don't just have the ability to send frequencies to people, but we can actually broadcast frequencies to spaces and pets and objects. You can imprint items such as sugar pillules or sugar pellets, jewelry, the subtle energy frequency dots, which you can see there on either side of the page. They're like a little foil dot that sit on particular points of the body. And frequency holds in those dots for up to for 3 days, 72 hours, which is incredible. And the device also has the ability to tell you what your priority is. So you can choose the frequency of what you want to run, but it also has the ability to choose it for you based on your priority. We also have homeopathics in here. We have quantum flowers, so like your Bach flower remedies. We have detoxing, so we have lots of different things from mold to virus to vaccine to many more. They're just a few that we can detox. And you can create specific playlists for yourself where you can hold up to 15 frequencies in a playlist and play that also, whether it be for yourself, a family member, a client. You have the ability to be able to do that as well. So we talk about teamwork, making the dream work. When you join us here at SoulX, whether it be to utilize the device personally yourself or assist us in this pre-launch phase of launching New Zealand, I'd like to just speak into that just for a moment, because I really want to share the I guess I don't actually like using the word opportunity, but I can't think of another word, so let's call it opportunity. That I asked about 12 months ago if we could open New Zealand to the corporate team, and I was told very nicely, no. It just wasn't the right time. And looking back in hindsight, they were right. We really needed to find the key people to help us launch the country. And it was when I was having a corporate meeting with them the other day that I said to them, I remember seeing a company previously in Australia that did exceptionally well. But when they opened New Zealand did 2-3 times the numbers that Australia did. So this time round, when I went to them and said, hey, I think it's time, I think we have the start of some really key people to help us open this country, they agreed. And we had a call last week and we set it all out. And so what we're looking for is people to join us on this journey of bringing this product to market in New Zealand. So with that, you will learn through the SoulX University how to use the device. It starts literally from how to switch it on all the way through. It provides the free basic training. There are other paid trainings that you can do if you wish, but honestly, even if you are just to do the basic training, everything that we've gone through with you this evening, you will have the capability of doing. So you have access to not only our Facebook groups for customers and also Quantum Living Advocates, which is what our distribution model is, but also to a really incredible portal through the Frequency Soul Collective, which is our direct collective. It is our organization that is bringing this to New Zealand. It is not open to anywhere else in the world. It is specifically for the Frequency Soul Collective to beta test the market. So that is what we're doing in our pre-launch phase. So we have duplicatable systems in place that will help you and an incredible support team along the way. We've done it here in Australia. We've done it extremely successfully, and we are now ready to do it in New Zealand. So I hope that excites you as much as it excites us. So just a little bit of a disclaimer as well in regards to the device itself. The AOScan Mobile is not a medical device. It is not used to diagnose, treat, or cure any dis-ease in the body and is solely used for educational purposes only. We must always make that just very clear in each of our calls. So Debbie Jane, is there anything else you wanted to share before we finish off this evening?
Well, I firstly wanted to just acknowledge you all for showing up, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to receive this information. I think it really shows, that you're open to looking at ways that we can help, heal New Zealand. I feel that it is time, and there's a lot of practitioners and healers and even, business people coming together. I always use the analogy of the snow globe that this last few years, we've been shaken up and we're all landing down exactly where we're meant to be, next to people we never thought we would probably be connected to. But we all have a similar vision and a similar heart and goal to see wellness in the world and see people take their power back. And when everything, and I feel that, connection is what keeps us alive. And we have a beautiful community, and we're very loving and supportive of one another. And I feel like it's a really great it's a great movement to spread that love over in New Zealand, and I'm really excited to be a part of that. So we hope that you've really enjoyed the information. we love all of you for showing up, and please reach out to, if you have any questions, reach out to the person who invited you here, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Absolutely. And thank you, Debbie Jane, for joining me this evening, and thank you for sharing with us. And again, thank you everyone for being here. We really appreciate you taking the time to check out this information. So if this resonates with you, if this is something that you feel you'd like to know more about, if you would like to experience a scan, again, please reach out to the person who invited you this evening. We are very excited to open New Zealand, and I feel very honoured to be a part of this huge opportunity. I might be Australian, but my mum spent a lot of her 20s in New Zealand and has always wanted to come back. So I've promised the team leading the way that we're coming. We will help and do everything we can to assist in launching the country. So if this resonates with you, we look forward to working with you, and that is all from us tonight. So thank you again, and